Hello, everybody. This is the Purge, bringing you a first-person replay commentary. I am going to be doing a game of the much-awaited Ember Spirit, one of the two spirits that came out with the Diretide patch. So I've played him 3, 4, 5 times since the patch came out. 2 times against bots just to get a feel of the mechanics on the hero, then 3 times against players. And I kind of feel like I really fleshed out, all of the item builds and the skill builds and all that stuff, because I actually had a lot of trouble at the start. I wasn't quite sure what to go with in terms of skill build. That was the thing I had the most trouble with. Item build I thought was fairly comprehensive, and I figured that out pretty quickly in the first day about thinking about it. But the skill build is something that really threw me for a bit of a loop, and the main reason is because his skills are just all so good. Apologies again that I wasn't able to put this video out earlier. I unfortunately ran into some time constraints yesterday with recording in the BTS studio. I started casting really early and things like that, and it was mostly my just laziness. I put it off like all day, and then all of a sudden they started casting and I was like, oh shit, and then I couldn't get it up, so it's pretty much my fault. But the hero is like really fun. I really like Ember Spirit. Like, his skill cap is really high, his mechanics are fun to play, he's highly mobile, he's semi-squishy, so he is punishable, and he's easily countered. Maybe not easily countered, but he's countered by stuns and silences, which are common in a lot of heroes. So the hero has like a lot of potential, and he's really fun to play in my opinion. So I like him a lot. First things first about him. I guess all the spirits are very mobile, actually, which was the theme that they obviously did when they did release all the heroes. I don't remember if Xin, I believe the Fire Spirit, Xin the Fire Spirit, and I don't remember what the Earth Spirit's called. I always call him Earth, or Ebro, or Earth Bro, because I like never know what his name is, and I don't want to say Earth Spirit. For some reason I like Fire Spirit, but I never want to say Earth Spirit, so I just say Ebro, or Earth Bro. I think that's the best way to describe him. But they're all really mobile. Storm Spirit is one of the 3 spirits, of course. He's the same hero, but he just got his model remade. But he's really fun too. Anyways, let's go over his skills really quick, so we can talk about items later.
For battle.
First skill is called Syrian Chains. It does a random target and a small AoE around you, and it hits them with an immobilizer. So this can do things like cancel channels, cancel TPs, and prevent you from walking, but it doesn't stun you, and it doesn't prevent you from casting spells. So it's basically like getting rooted on the by the bear, for example. It's like that. So it hits 2 random targets around you. This could hit creeps, could hit a lot of things. It hits 2 targets at all levels. The only scaling is more damage and more duration, and the cooldown goes down. Second skill is called Sleight of Fist. You grab an AoE on the ground that you target, and then you slash every single one of the heroes in the target once. You get bonus damage for heroes, and it does reduce damage for creeps. Does it do half damage for creeps? It looks like it does 50% less damage for creeps. So you actually,
30 seconds to
barely
battle.
damages creeps. The important thing to look at with this skill is the AoE goes up a lot, the radius, but most importantly is the cooldown goes down to 6 seconds. And also keep in mind the jump duration is 0.2 seconds, so for every target that you're jumping to, you're invulnerable for 0.2 seconds. So this ability not only gives you some really good AoE and teamfight in the late game, but more importantly, you can dodge spells with it. And that's really cool, you can dodge spells with it. A projectile comes at you, you cast it on a big creep wave, and you'll spend half a second, a full second dancing through, hitting each creep, and you can actually dodge spells that way, so it's really cool. Your third skill is called Flame Guard. It gives you a magic shield, and while the magic shield is up, it actually does an AoE burning. The AoE is really big. It's something like this. It's pretty large, you'll see me use it, and it's pretty visually obvious, and it lasts longer depending on how you level it up. It also blocks more magic damage. The damage per second is not that amazing, it goes from 30 to 60, so the scaling is not as good as an Iron Shell, but it's actually pretty useful. And luckily I had like the best Mirana ever, so I knew this, I was kind of a big stun here, so I decided to skill the Flame Shield, because this is going to by far do the most damage at the early level, and then I was going to chase this guy down. So, as you can see, the AoE is pretty big. I like barely had enough room, and I was able to kill the Earth Spirit. And unfortunately, his ability was able to do enough damage, and your armor is really low in Ember Spirit, but on the bright side, I was able to purchase a bottle and a TP scroll before I died. And I got EXP, so this gives me a level advantage, and it also gives me a bottle at 1 minute, which is really, really nice. So, in terms of a skill build for Ember Spirit, I think you should go 1-1-1 by level 3. And this is for a couple reasons. You can end up going like a 2 or a 1-1-2 build, but I don't always recommend it. Again, this guy, man. I clicked on the Earth Spirit here because I just wanted to make sure that I did the entangle as soon as his stun duration ended. So I did end up doing that. and then I'll just bottle up from this. The reason I like the 1-on-1 skill build by level 3 is because it gives you a lot of offensive potential. I don't end up doing this game, so maybe it's unnecessary, but you can use Sleight of Fist to initiate on a ranged hero. So for example, the Sleight of Fist range is pretty long. What you can do is you can cast Sleight of Fist, and during that 0.2 second time that you're slashing their hero, you can use Syrian Chains. So if I'm chasing somebody, I can use Sleight of Fist, and if I'm fast enough and there's not much delay, I can immediately after use Syrian Chains and cast Syrian Chains from range. It's a bit tough to do, and I'm not completely consistent with it, but generally I'm fairly effective with the combo. So that's something that you can do. If you aren't interested in doing that, then I'd recommend just putting a second level into something like Flame Guard, because the extra duration of the Flame Guard is really important, and honestly it's like the only good way that you can push anyways. And one other thing I didn't mention about Flame Guard, his third skill, is that if you take that magic damage and it breaks the threshold, your shield is gone. So the level in Flame Guard, a really, really easy way to counter it, especially with like any level 1 nuke, is just nuke him. If you nuke him, the damage is going to stop completely, and it's a really easy way to stop that. You have to be slightly careful with the Earth Spirit, because he can actually knock you back into a tower, and that's really the most dangerous thing that hero can do in the mid lane. I played a Pugna game earlier today. It was very, very frustrating, because he would just continuously do his combo and knock me into the tower. It was a bit of a pain. I decided to push out this wave here, just so I didn't lose any EXP, as I went to go check for the bot rune, which I figured was there. Potom during this whole time was just running, and I decided to ditch her.
Radiant's
I guess I could have showed up for
attack.
that. Like I could have just ran to the lane, hey. But I didn't really feel like it was completely necessary. That's all. So yeah, they're like actually still fighting. I didn't realize the Beastmaster was committing to this, and once I realized, I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna show up to this. And I popped my haste rune, and unfortunately for him, he timed his ability a bit wrong. So it lands a nice ability on the Earth Spirit. Just wanted a guaranteed kill on him, and then I'll catch up to A here, and I should be able to entangle. And there we go. So now I just get a couple right clicks. I got some burning shield and all this.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So really good start for me. I almost have as many last hits as kills, which normally isn't the case, but it works out pretty well for me here. Okay, so to talk a little bit more about the skill build, when I first played Ember Spirit, I was a little unsure what to max out first. My thoughts were either get 3 Syrian Chains and then max Sleight of Fist with 1 Flame Guard, or max Sleight of Fist so that by level 7 you can actually cast this every 6 seconds and kind of force them out of lane. The problem is that like your lane control is a lot more important pre-6 than it is post-6. Any hero is fairly reasonable at level 7, but the levels before that are really important. You need something to like push the lane so you can go get runes. You kind of want something to be able to harass your opponent hero. If that arrow would have landed, I would have felt really bad for that guy. I was already feeling pretty bad. But as I played more and more games, maxing Syrian Chains gave me absolutely no lane control at all, and I didn't feel like I could use my mana for everything. And when you max out Sleight of Fist, then it scales a little bit better, but it doesn't get really good until level 4. The levels before that, the cooldown is just way too high for it to feel really useful. The only time where I felt maxing Syrian or Sleight of Fist first was useful was in a lane where I was completely outmatched in. So if you're in a lane matchup that is not at all favorable to you, I think maxing out the Sleight of Fist might be the right option. But for now, I talked to Memoria about it, who had played the hero a lot in Dota 1. He said max Flame Guard first is the best build. And upon playing it this game, it felt a lot better, because it really does increase your survivability. Again, your armor is really low. You only have 2 base armor on this hero. So if you grab Flame Guard levels, it really reduces the amount of damage that anybody can do to you, because pretty much any hero is going to have some components of magic damage. Again, he tried to knock me into his tower. This guy didn't know how to do the combo extremely well here. But right there, I just took some avalanche damage, and some of my
Dire's
survivability
top tower is under attack.
Was really good for me, because I ended up having the Flame Guard. So I pick up a nice kill here. His snowball thing came through. If that hits you, it slows you, I believe, and then does some damage. I knew that they were very likely to try to kill me, and I had just hit 6, and now I can explain how the ulti works. But basically, as you can see, you put a spirit on the ground. You can have up to 3 spirits. You can see how many you have right here on this icon. And then, if you want to, you can teleport to those spirits, or essentially get there really fast. It costs 150 mana to do that, and once you arrive at the destination, it does magic damage, which scales per level, 100 to 200 over 3 levels. That's all that the scaling does, just more damage. And then, when you want to, you spend the mana, and bam, you teleport there. So it's really good for going back to base and immediately returning back to your location. So it's kind of like playing Tinker in some ways. You have to be a little conservative with this, though, because the cooldown is really long on the spirits. It's 35 seconds, so you have to be a little careful about how often you do this. And also, you can actually cast multiple spirits at a time, and then teleport to whichever one you choose last. So for example, if I put 1 spirit down here and 1 spirit down here, and then I choose to jump to this one, it'll jump me to the one to the right, and then the one to the left. So I can do damage in an AoE here, and then in an AoE over there.
Radiant's top
and while
tower
you're
is
in
under
mid-air,
attack.
you can right-click things like runes. You can do Syrian Chains as you're flying through, and you might as well be able to cast Sleight of Fist as you're flying through as well. I'm not entirely sure on all the nuances, but I know for a fact that you can grab a rune because I did against bots once. So the hero is very able to do a lot of annoying things. Here they silence me very nicely, and an air toss. Luckily for me, he didn't land his boulder. Excuse me. And I ended up surviving. It would have been really good if I was able to use Flame Guard before I ended up doing the whole combo, because I could have absorbed 500 damage, which would have been huge. Their gank would have basically stopped as of then. And since I still have the Flame Guard up, I'm just going to push the lane with a little bit. That way I can hopefully rune control a bit better. And hopefully do some cool things later with this. So now that Flame Guard is maxed out, the correct skill to max out is going to be Sleight of Fist. And this is because you want to be really good in the mid game. Syrian Chains does give you a ton more offensive potential, especially by reducing the cooldown. But it's not worth leveling up over Syrian Chains, and you really do need Flame Guard to get the extra survivability. I was considering trying to go for a kill here. I could cast a bunch of Fire Remnants and try to pick them off, but I was playing a little safe here. I think this is the core item build, by the way, Phase Wand Bottle. And then you go for a drum immediately afterwards. And that's because you actually do need an increased mana pool. It's really important that you do get an increased mana pool with this hero, because every time you ult, it's 150 mana. And very oftentimes, you'll be initiating into a team fight, and you'll need to escape halfway through it. So you basically need 300 mana base just to be able to initiate and escape before you end up dying. Plus all your other skills, which aren't that expensive, but they do add up pretty fast. And the extra mobility is not bad either. Especially the way the Sleight of Fist works, Phase is really nice because it gives 24 bonus damage, so you can end up hitting every hero for an extra 24 damage. So Timber Saw is doing some damage to me here. I knew the rune was bought, so I wanted to go contest it. So I went to throw a Fire Remnant down there, and then throw a Fire Remnant up here, and then jump to that. And then I realized the mistake that I had made. And then I made a second mistake, which I actually figured out why that happened now. So what I tried to do was I tried to throw a Fire Remnant on top of the ward, and then I tried to throw a Fire Remnant on top of the hill here, and then jump to the one on top of the hill. But the problem was that my range was too far to the second Fire Remnant, so it didn't cast. It just had my hero for a short period of time walk there. So I didn't check to make sure the Fire Remnant went out, and I ended up not getting the double jump. Instead, I jumped to one, grabbed the rune, and then I was just standing there. And then the problem was, the Timber Saw threw his ulti on me, which slowed me heavily because my HP was low. And the problem is that the Spirit flying out speed is based on your movement speed. So because I was very, very slow, the second one flew very, very slow, and then I casted almost after at the typical speed. And I ended up dying because of it, because it basically caught me up too fast because the thing was so slow. So it was like 2 mistakes that I basically made there, which is why I died while getting the rune. And it honestly wasn't even really that worth it because I didn't have my bottle anyway, so I just basically got a temporary double damage and died for it. So just a couple notices about it. Like, I played this hero a moderate amount, and I still have a lot of trouble with some of the basic mechanic things. So it's really fun though. I had a lot of fun practicing him against bots. It's like, it feels rewarding. You play this hero and you're like, this guy's hard to learn and hard to play, and I want to play him a lot. And that's like the best feeling ever for hero design, honestly. This hero's designed really cool. I know he got nerfed a crapload in Dota 1 because he was too overpowered, probably because he had too much armor and he had the magic shield, so he was just unkillable and he could die forever and teleport away basically. So there was a lot of issues with him in the beginning, I believe. So I haven't focused that much on last hitting this game. There has been a lot of roaming around and ganking and stuff like that. So that's part of the reason that my CS is so low, but in a pub game this doesn't matter as much because really it is more often about kills than anything else. So again, I'm going to go Phase Wand Bottle with a drum. And once I finish that, I have a lot of options. And your item build can go a lot of different ways. Just to give you some examples about, again, how this works. Sleight of Fist is a regular attack. So any attack modifier that you have is going to have a chance to be applied or apply, depending on the item, of course, depending on how this goes. I ended up spotting the A over here, so I figured I'd have some pretty easy kills. I'm just going to go into melee range and then tangle him here. And I used the Sleight of Fist, and I thought that was going to kill him, but he ended up using a wand very wisely. So I'm going to have to commit to that a little bit more to get the kill. I like doing some damage to the Storm Spirit and then maybe reinitiating here. I popped my bottle so they could see me walking through here.
Pudding pop.
Chained in Syrian. He does have some mana though. Unfortunately, oh, that did actually hit. Excuse me. I think I casted 2 and only one of them hit was the problem. So that was a little unfortunate for me. And now I need to juke. Unfortunately, I have no more spirits for 12 seconds because I used too many, and this should result in my death. We'll see. was going to be my
Stuffed me
ulti.
out.
I could have wanded
Not
there, but
so
I was
fast.
most likely dead anyway. So
Dire's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
went a little too hard trying to kill
Radiant's middle tower
the
is
storm,
under
and I
attack.
could have just played safe and maybe retreated, gone back to base. Actually, what I could have done, which would have
Dire's
been really
top
cool,
tower has
I could have just
fallen.
dropped a spirit,
Dire's
hid,
bottom tower
teleported back to
is
base,
under
and then
attack.
came back to the top lane. Because then I would have had full HP, full mana, full bottle charges, probably got off mostly cooldowns, and I could have made some cool things happen. So it was overly aggressive for me. And the hero, you do have to play a little safe on him, and unfortunately I didn't do that this game. I was playing really aggressive, but it's pretty fun to play aggressive on the hero. That's kind of why I like him a lot, so you can do a bunch of crazy stuff.
Killing spree. Double kill.
So I'm going to respawn here, and I've got drum. So let's talk about the items that you can get on this hero. I don't think I can open the shop, unfortunately, but you guys will just have to visualize some of them for me. Kinds of things that you can do. I've seen a lot of people on streams go Basher, because they thought that you could actually bash everybody in the creep wave and the heroes. But there's actually, this is not true, because Basher actually has a cooldown every
Dire's
time it
middle
bashes, because
tower
this
is
would
under
prevent people
attack.
from perma-bashing late game very easily. So Basher actually has a cooldown when it bashes, so Basher I don't recommend. It's a good thought, but it doesn't quite connect on the mechanics. Cool thought. Another cool thought is Diffusal Blade was one of the first things I thought. I was like, oh, I can mana drain everybody in the team fight by 20. But it's not really that useful. It only does 60% of the damage for mana burns. That's like 12 damage. It's not worth it. Maybe with the Diffusal Blade level 2, but generally I just didn't think it was a good idea after I thought about it. The best item, in my opinion, for damage,
Dire's
as
middle
you'll see me
tower is under
attempt to
attack.
kill on this guy. I did it right there. That was that thing I was talking about, by the way. The Sleight of Fist into Syrian Chains. I did cancel my animation
Dire's
once there,
bottom tower
which was a
is
mistake,
under
but
attack.
luckily the Prophet ultied, and I used one Fire Remnant for burst damage, so we were able to get the kill. It was really
Warriors
close,
of the
though.
wood.
My only way to stop TP is Syrian Chains. So I think the best item on Ember Spirit is either a Desolator or a Maelstrom. The reason Desolator is awesome is because you can apply -7 armor to their entire team with one Sleight of Fist. And this is with the 4100 gold item. Obviously, this
Radiant's
is
top
slightly
tower
cheaper
is
than an
under
AC,
attack.
and the plus 60 damage is very good for Sleight of Hands. But I think it's a pretty good option. Desolator is really cool. I think it's a really good choice. I saw somebody else in a pub game today go for a Daedalus as a safe farming ability, or a safe farming item, and I wasn't the biggest fan of that one. But I think that was, it mostly didn't work out super well because I think they got a Maelstrom into a Daedalus. I think they should have gone a Deso into a Daedalus. Would have been better. At the very least, it would have been way better for killing heroes because it applies the armor and then you can crit on that. You can't crit on the lightning burst, basically, which is why you shouldn't get a minus armor item with Maelstrom. It doesn't make sense.
Radiant's bottom
I left a
tower
spirit
is
mid, by
under
the way,
attack.
if you noticed there, and I saw that there was a fight, so I wanted to get mid really fast, and here I am. I ended up making it. Now I'm going to be chasing this Tiny. I was a little bit late on the usage of that, but I'm going to be able to catch up
Radiant's
here.
bottom tower is
And
under
I put a little
attack.
bit of slow on him. I'm going to wait after he hits me, pop my bottle, and then I get the fire shield up.
From ground
And then there's no way that he can kill me. It's such a nice feeling just knowing, like,
end.
I can block 500 magic damage right now. In the early game, it's so powerful.
Radiant's
because you
bottom
very
tower
oftentimes
is under attack.
don't anticipate that happening.
Killing
There's a Sleight of Fists I used. Keep in mind, again, I had my fire shield on there, so while I was jumping from target to target, I was actually doing magic damage on top of that. And I'm hitting for about 215 with the bonus damage right now, which is, it's really good. It's honestly not bad. I used a drum there, I was anticipating maybe chasing after. This costs 50 mana, it's a 6-second cooldown, you can very easily just
Radiant's
stick
top
around and help
tower
out.
is under
So,
attack.
again, I leave a fire spirit behind because I want to come back to the lane eventually. I get ice blasted, I was worried
Dire's
about dying,
middle
so I drop
tower
my
is
fire
under
shield,
attack.
blocks magic damage, this is magic damage, so bam, I start taking no damage from it. So Ember Spirit's really good against AA in my opinion. Very, very good. So I'll go back to base, I'm going to heal, and then I'll go back to lane. So I'm going to start my Maelstrom now. I haven't talked about why Maelstrom is cool yet, but you guys may have figured it out in the meantime. It doesn't do something as cool as Desolate on every single hero, but it gives the chance, 25% per hero or unit you attack, to do a Chain Lightning burst. And the Chain Lightning, I believe, does 120 or 150 magic damage, and that has a chance to proc on every single unit you hit, I think. I'm not completely sure about that, but it has a really good chance to do a bunch of damage, or at least to routinely hit a lot of people. I decided to go in the AA here because I figured I had a pretty darn good chance of getting the kill here. He very wisely again used a wand right before I thought I was going to kill him, and then I got chain stunned by the Storm Spirit, which is a nice play from them. They baited me twice here in this game with his wand. It shows you how good wand is, because I thought I had a kill, didn't have a kill. I also tried to use the Sleight of Fist when the ice proc set in, but I used it too early. I thought there was like a timer or like a thing showing here, like when it was going to set in, but unfortunately it does not. So you don't have a little cheat there to make that easier. I maybe should use a second spirit when I initiated, because then I would have done 300 damage instead of 150, and that might have secured me the kill. I probably would have still gotten cold feeted, but I would have gotten the kill. So yeah, a little too greedy for me. There's a lot of things that I could have done there. I could have dropped 2 spirits here, jumped on him, thrown one back as I killed him. Something like that, but I didn't prepare. I basically just kind of like dived without a backup plan, so that was a mistake. Okay, so Maelstrom's really cool because other items aren't very good for farming the creep wave. It does half the damage to a creep, so you actually do very, very little damage to a creep. But luckily, the Maelstrom does full magic damage. I might be wrong on that. I don't know for sure. It might get reduced similar to how Windrunner Focus Fire does, but I'm not completely confirmed on that.
Dire's
but
bottom
basically, you can
tower
jump
is under
around, you can do a
attack.
lightning burst, and it'll
Dire's
clear
structures are
clear the
fortified.
creep wave. And another really cool thing about that is Maelstrom just got buffed. It got buffed to a 900 jump range, which means that if you end up using Maelstrom, your AoE is like 600 anyway, so it's very likely that no matter who you get with the lightning, it's going to bounce everybody in there. So Maelstrom, I think, is by far the best Ember Spirit item for a mid-game damage item. It only costs 2,700. It's very inexpensive. It gives attack speed, which wasn't the best thing for Ember Spirit, but it honestly rounds him out very, very nicely in the mid-game. So I'm just going to be annoying to the Timber Saw. Keep in mind the shield does block magic damage, so pure damage still goes through me. And I wanted to just be annoying there to the Timber Saw because I figured there was a chance that I could go fight his team. So I wanted to make sure that he left if possible. So Tiny also chasing me here. And then I looked at the map, or at least I looked at the map when I died, which is right about now. And I realized that all of our teammates were dead, and I was completely by myself. So I thought I was in an okay spot there, but they ended up silencing me, and then I was pretty much just going to die. If you don't have your fire shield up, you can't be aggressive, and that's the mistake I made there. I decided to jump back in on the Tiny, and I should have just walked away. Because if you don't have the fire spirit, or if you don't have your armor up, it's just not worth it. I don't know what happened to the Beastmaster. I think he got mini-stunned, and then he canceled the second one because he knew he wasn't going to get killed, and then he just died. So rough little situation for him. So yeah, Ember Spirit takes a lot of thinking to play him, and he also takes a lot of game sense as well. But his skills are all really fun and really, really good to use. So I think that's pretty much a basic rundown of the hero now that we're 18 minutes into this game, plus like an extra 2. Saw the Storm Spirit top, so I said, screw it, let's go try to kill this guy.
When you strip away his leaves, nature's prophet is just plain gnarly.
I saw he was fairly low. Just going to start off with some basic nukes. I don't want to use my Fire Spirit until I know for sure that I'm going to be chasing to a far-off location. I was a little bit worried about his jump here, and I was able to get him there. He actually ran out of mana almost immediately, and my magic overtime damage was really huge out there, actually. I mean, just simple right-clicks. By having Phase and the drum and the Mithril Hammer, I'm hitting pretty hard already, and I don't have to rely on Sleight of Fist that hard for doing damage. But it's really nice to have a mix of stuff, that's for sure. I just entangle him there. The roar was very good, and we're able to get a kill on the Ember Spirit, or the Earth Spirit. Earthbro, excuse me. So I should have enough for the... I almost have enough for a Maelstrom.
Dire's middle tower is
Considering
under
chasing
attack.
this, and then we saw the arrow miss, so we gave up on that one. At least I told him to give up.
Dire's
have
bottom
Maelstrom
tower
soon.
has fallen.
You guys might be thinking
Dire's
about other...
middle tower
I
is
should
under
probably bring
attack.
up some other items that are a little misleading about Ember Spirit with Sleight of Fist, because I'm sure there's a lot of theory crafting going on in your guys' minds
Dire's
right
bottom
now.
tower
And
is
another
under
item that I
attack.
don't think is that great. I thought we might be able to kill this guy, by the way, which is why I used 2 spirits.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I should have used the entangle as soon as he timber chained. I would have
Dire's
gotten that kill
bottom
a lot
tower
easier.
has
If I would
fallen.
have done that, it would have stopped his timber chain because you can't interrupt it now. So I gotta wait till he throws his arm out, and as soon as the chain comes out, then I can entangle him, and then it'll stop him from moving. Anyways, items that could be really good but aren't good or aren't recommended. I'm not a huge fan of Battle
bottom
Fury.
tower is under
We got
attack.
way too close to them there. Ice Vortex and huge tiny combo, we just got owned. But
I'm over here.
I don't like Battle Fury.
Dire's
I haven't
top
tried it yet,
tower
actually,
is
so
under
maybe I'm
attack.
being just a hater or something, but I just don't think it's the right item. And the reason for that being is that it again does half damage to creeps, so the cleave from the creeps is very low, because you're hitting for like tops 200. You hit 100 for each creep, so you're cleaving like 35 cleave. It's kind of good, but it depends on the orientation that you're aiming, which is kind of random anyways. So unless everybody's really clumped up, I don't think Battle Fury is useful. You could argue for it against heroes very, very well. You could say it's very good against heroes because
Dire's
you can
middle
cleave
tower is
crit
under
on
attack.
people, and that I haven't tried. So I would say if you're going like a mid-game item build, like I am, this is very much a mid-game item build, a mid-hero, like a mid-lane, mid-game item build. If you go this build, I don't recommend the Battle Fury. If you're going to safe farm hard carry Ember Spirit, which I am not completely convinced can work yet, then I think Battle Fury Daedalus might be the right build. I think you should skip Maelstrom in that case. Battle Fury Daedalus is probably the right build. The problem with going for a Battle Fury, though, and again, some people say, why get a Maelstrom when you get a Battle Fury? The difference is that Maelstrom is 2,700, a Battle Fury is like 4,300. This is a huge price difference. And the most important thing about the cost is that Battle Fury doesn't give you any HP at all. Maelstrom doesn't either, but Maelstrom also costs 1,400 less, which you can use to buy pretty much a drum. So you can have a drum and a Maelstrom for the same cost as a Battle Fury. So that's basically what. That was a great force step from the Ember Spirit. Absolutely saved Storm's life. I threw 2 spirits trying to catch him there because I knew he was stunned, so I thought I was going to be able to blow him up, and I wasn't able to. So that was really nicely done by him. Arrow lands, and we're going to be able to get the kill here.
Double kill.
So birth may follow.
I did get hit by the Ice Blast, but it wasn't too bad here. And now you have to be kind of careful. Oh, I didn't realize I got cold feeted. That was a mistake. So I'm going to escape over here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Double kill.
Out of fuel.
I think I could have done that a lot better. I shouldn't have gotten cold feeted, but I didn't notice. Unfortunately, that one moment I didn't notice. So getting cold feeted there got me killed. I could have probably outplayed them if I didn't get cold feeted, but getting disabled for that long was a little too rough. So okay, so Battle Fury costs as much about as a drum and a Maelstrom. Gives you less mana. It gives you mana regen, which is nice, but you still need a mana pool. So if you go Battle Fury, you need some way to get your mana pool up. You really do. I don't know how you're going to do it. Maybe you're going to buy a Null Talisman or something and just leave it at that. That's a possibility. I could see that. Like, safe farming Elder
Radiant's
Spirit.
middle
You got,
tower is under attack.
like, Phase Boots Wand with a Null Talisman, and then you get a Battle Fury. That wouldn't be too horrible. And then just like sell Null later or make a Dagon or something. You could do whatever you want. I'd probably not make a Dagon, but I really do honestly feel that you need some mana. You need a mana pool with the hero, and I think if you go Battle Fury, it's going to be so expensive that it really hurts your mid game because you don't have enough mana to afford to cast a lot of spells. So that's my problems with Battle Fury. I haven't played it yet, so I might be completely wrong with this, but I'm just not a huge fan of the hard carry. I just in the games that I've played him, even in the games where I've seen Ember Spirit do a safe farm and go for like Midas and stuff, I just haven't seen people really do a hard carry with him. And again, part of that problem is that people aren't good enough at the hero yet, so they're not perfectly snowballing yet. But I think any hero that perfectly snowballs can become a carry anyways. So while this hero has better ability to snowball than a lot of others, I think he's a mid-hero. I really do. I really think he's a mid-hero. He's a pretty good mid-hero. He's not a super good mid-hero. His base damage is good. His armor sucks. But he has a lot of mobility and he has a lot of options. So I think he's pretty fun to play. Which I'm sure I've made quite clear at this point. And now you can shoot lightning and fire. Like, how cool is that? I spotted a lot of heroes right now, so I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Looking for me?
I was really confused by that. I thought for sure he's going to be going on me. So I'm putting up some contingency plans now. I put a fire spirit over here on the right because I was scared that they're going to dive me. I was kind of confused about them not diving me yet. And then I saw there were 5 heroes bottom, which is extremely terrifying. And at this point, I just kind of wanted to go hide somewhere. So they're going to come look for me now.
Take us.
Bottom's going to use her ulti, which is nice. I'm going to teleport over here. And then I realized it kills a lot of trees. And I was kind of terrified of somebody, like, coming through here. Oh, I wonder if they spotted that because I used my ulti. I was really scared about dying there, but I ended up not dying, so that was nice of them. I also maybe should have put down another spirit. I made a mistake there. If I would have put a third spirit down, I could have returned to battle and maybe fought. So, anyways, I'm running back. I've got 2 spirits. They'll recharge. The third one might be up by the time, or at least halfway through the fight, but we're going to try to hold this tower. So, now if your opponents are pushing and you have 4 Sleight of Fist, you should be spamming your ability quite a bit. You have to be careful after it ends, because oftentimes I had this problem where I would use it and then I'd just stand there because I'd be like, oh shit, I want to see all the cool stuff that's happening. So I made a lot of mistakes like that. Beastmaster got killed before nothing. But it's definitely important to cast it a lot. Try to keep the ability off cooldown.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's definitely your best ability to
Radiant's
slowly work
bottom
people's lives.
tower is under attack.
Yes.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Fortunately for me, I was not able to kill him. I was really confused about that. I was like, what is going on? I didn't actually have a way to cancel his TP there because I already used my my chains thing. So
Dire's top tower has been denied.
yep, I've revealed another one of his vulnerabilities: teleporting, teleporting, and stuns and silences. Those are the best things. As you can see, TPing is actually pretty good against him. His burst damage is good, but it's not amazing. I have no idea why our Bristleback is top, but our Bristleback is solo on the top lane and he doesn't have a teleport scroll. This is kind of like the story of his game. He just like never wanted to carry a TP scroll, and he was very angry. Not the nicest guy that I've ever seen. But yeah, I really like Maelstrom, honestly. Oh yeah, other item builds that you can get. I tried a Lincoln's. Mem told me about Lincoln's a long time ago when I first played him. But you could do like phase Lincoln's, and if you do Lincoln's, I would say completely skip the drum, because Lincoln's and drum kind of accomplish similar things. You only need a little bit of mana boost to get to a good mana point. So buying both the Lincoln's and a drum is not good, because the large reason that you buy drum is all-around survivability and mana pool. A lot of the times you buy drum because you have a strength or an agility here that honestly needs a mana pool. That's honestly a lot of it. The movement speed is obviously really, really nice, but it's usually a lot about getting your mana pool up a lot. Unfortunately for me, as he balled in, I didn't use my flame shield in time, so I'm gonna end up dying to magic damage here. So if I used my flame shield, I very, very likely could have lived. Maybe not entirely, because it looked like he had a regen or something, but I'm sure I would have done a lot better. Unfortunately, the roar was a bit late. He wasn't going to get that kill anyway, so it's probably fine that he didn't roar that. Yeah, you got to put the flame shield up as the storm spirit balls in on you with Norkid. That's scary stuff. Silence kills you. Okay, what was I talking about? Okay, Lincoln's and drum. If you go Lincoln's, I say skip the drum. The reason Lincoln's is pretty useful is because it'll block a stun or a silence or a disable or something like that. And it gives a little bit of all the stats, which means damage and attack speed and HP and mana pool. And the HP regen is really nice. I say if you get a Lincoln's, definitely don't get a Battle Fury, because the HP regen and the mana regen are already covered. But if you want to get a Lincoln's, definitely skip the Battle Fury. So I just don't think that would be better. That would be worth it. You'd be better off getting a Desolator. I think. If you're gonna get a Lincoln's, get a Desolator. That's what I would say. Otherwise, the mana components are wasted. The mana and the HP regen. You don't need 10 HP regen per second, in my opinion. You're limited a lot more on your survivability than you are on your mana regen or HP regen over time. So, anyways, this game, I decided Lincoln's was not the right thing to do. I did enjoy Lincoln's, the other games that I played with it, but this one I felt like I needed a BKB, and that's basically because they have two major silences. They have Storm Spirit's Orchid, and they have the rock from the Earthbro, which if it flies through, it's the one where he punches the rock and it flies. If it flies through, you get silenced, actually. So it's a pretty big silence, like 6 seconds or something like that, so you have to be pretty careful about it. So I basically needed to get a BKB this game because I could get in a position where I just kind of end up dying.
Shadow, take us.
Zap!
End up putting my flame shield on, do a lot of damage.
Blew it.
I decided to throw 2 fire spirits on this storm because I really wanted him dead. Really felt like he needed to die. I'll do a short range nuke or jump to kill him.
Dire's middle tower
Again, try to be
is under
careful
attack.
about if you're slowed when you throw that out. I made the mistake there again, where I threw out the spirit as I was being slowed by the chakram, and that
Dire's
made
middle
the
tower
speed
has
distance
fallen.
a little off, which basically meant that I did that again. Felt so good about myself. Ooh, that was a big roar. That was a really big from the Earthbro.
Radiant's
again.
bottom
See that
tower
thing silences.
is under attack.
If it flies through, it silences you.
Radiant structures are fortified.
At this point, my mana's a little low. I do not have a TP scroll though, because I have a greedy item build. So I could drop a spear and run back to base. I'm not sure exactly. There's a rune up in 10 seconds though, so I could just wait for that. But yeah, there's like so many good options that you can do with this hero. Okay, so Lincoln's is another survivability option. I would say Lincoln's or BKB, one or the other. Probably not both. If you're against a Doombringer, you're going to need a Lincoln's. I played one game like that, and I still lost it, but Lincoln's is the right choice against that hero. Another really good orb item is actually Scotty, believe it or not. The reason Scotty is so cool is because it slow applies to everybody. All the creeps, all the heroes. It goes through magic immunity, it slashes through magic immunity, and slows. It slows, I believe, by 30% attack speed, 30% movement speed, which is really good. And all the HP is really awesome as well. And it's damage. Like, Scotty is the second highest HP item in the game. I believe it gets like 700. So it'll put you somewhere in the 2k HP range. You'll have about 2,000 HP. You'll hit for 25 more damage. You'll have a lot more survivability, and your mana pools can be covered as well. So I'd maybe argue if you want to get a drum, maybe skip Scotty, because again, we're stacking too many stats into the int pool. That's way more int than you need, so that build is probably a little inefficient. Maybe if you go Scotty, you go no drum with just phase boost.
I'm over here.
That would give you kind of a crappy early game, I think, but it would give you good utility mid, at least. I'm kind of afraid right now, understandably, I think. So I have to slowly use spirits to try to survive. Luckily for me, I was able to escape. My spirits are gone now. So we saw the Storm Spirit was still here, and then we lost vision right about now. I wasn't sure if he was still here or not.
I'm over here.
I don't know why I went so YOLO there. Like, no HP at all. But I did go YOLO.
Ray, prophet, you turn against the one you should revere.
My BKB was definitely late as well. I lost like half of my HP during the BKB duration because of that, so that's a pretty big mistake. And now I'm running back.
No.
That was a good kill. Checking from a range here because I wanted to fight. I told him to fight because I was on my way back. Gonna see if we can catch anybody. Hero looks caught.
Behold, my Syrian
I did end up
Chains.
using my Syrian Chains.
Oh, nuts.
Alright, so he's suicidal. So
Honor.
a safe bet from him. Just turning on my shield here because I knew that he had very, very little chance. I want to see which way he juked there, which is why I used the Sleight of Fist.
Your place is here.
Fortunately for me, I ended up getting stunned on him, so not too bad. Whatever. I was able to come back in the fight. I didn't die, which is important. I had like less than 50 HP, and I ended up surviving. Let me think if there's any other cool items and things I could proc. You grab Unlucky King Bar to do a mini stun on all the heroes. That's kind of cool. You could grab a Radiance that while you're jumping, you do Magic Burn. I don't think that's a good item build. I would say don't get that. It's too much Magic Burn, I think, and not enough like utility. It's not bad, but I think there's just better choices. I think a Desolator would be just all around a better choice than a Radiance would be, for example. Diffusal Blade, Sanjinyasha might be useful. One of the guys on my team says that he thinks Sanjinyasha is the best item for him. I don't completely agree, just because I think Sanjinyasha is not good enough for damage. But you could hypothetically apply the maim to a couple heroes. It's just like, if you're going to make a Sanjinyasha for the maim potential, why not just get like a Scotty instead, right?
Radiant's top
Because
tower
that's
is
reliable,
under
it hits
attack.
everybody for sure, it gives you a lot more survivability. Obviously, it's not quite as much damage and the attack speed is lower, but I think if you're going to aim for the slow, you might be better off just getting a Scotty. But I think Maelstrom and Desolator are definitely the best two items for sure, especially as a mid hero. I think they're the best ones. It's like some stuff happening mid here. Ugh. So from here, after this point, items that I could get, I could grab a Mjolnir if I wanted to. Nice things about Mjolnir getting picked up. Does this have a cooldown? I really don't think it does, but I might be wrong. It doesn't show.
Captured in the flame.
I'll try to kill the Earth Spirit here. Pretty important you kill the Earth Spirit, by the way. This guy has like a lot of really annoying abilities if you haven't played against him yet.
Life, but
Got a bunch of kills.
killing spree.
So I could get a Mjolnir that's upgrading the Maelstrom, so it would do, instead of 120 magic damage, I believe it does 150 or 200. I can't remember exactly which, but on a new one from the low ground. I'm actually right-clicking him uphill, which is pretty fun. Getting that kill was huge, though. It really was. Fortunately for me, pretty out of mana, so I'm going to fuse my bottle. This is when I realized I was looking at about 3 heroes.
Who spoiled that shot?
be ensnared in fun.
This is like really,
With honor.
really greedy for me.
I told you.
I'm not sure if I took that pure damage or not. I decided to come back to the fight, so now I'm gonna do the trick. Drop the fire spirit, bottle like crazy, so you can get back a little faster. It's one of the really nice things about
Dire's
bottles that
bottom
you can
tower
spend less
is
time
under
in your
attack.
fountain. And now, at this point, I was saying, do I grab Desolator or do I grab Scotty? I was a little unsure. Although our team actually doesn't have very much carry potential, so I think I decided that it was going to be in my best interest to go Deso. Especially against a Timbersaw, Desolator is really useful, because the guy stacks so much armor that if you can counter that a bit, it's really nice. So... But yeah, I didn't really want to go for a Mjolnir. The other reason being, yeah, it would give me a better chain lightning, but each individual attack actually wouldn't be that significantly better. It's pretty inexpensive. It's only 2,500 to upgrade
Dire's
it, but I
bottom
just
tower
didn't think
is
it
under
was worth it.
attack.
Maybe it is because the buff on yourself is pretty nice, because then if I have a magic shield, then the best way they can kill me is right-clicking, but then I have something that reflects or shoots magic damage out if I get right-click sometimes. So I just think it's better to leave it out of Maelstrom. Really inexpensive item, leave it there. Unless you need attack speed on like a bear or something, then... Or maybe even like an Alchemist and a Dragon Knight are really good to upgrade to a Mjolnir. I just didn't think it was worth it in this case. I thought it was better to get that minus armor out. So. Alright, and they are looking to rush on. I don't know. Oh, we have the bird. Or we have the hawk on the high ground. That's why we can see them. They're just scouting to see if we had taken rush on yet.
Vanish.
I was waiting for the bottom to ulti here. Very important, you don't use things like phase boots. That's just a regular necro, so it doesn't have true sight just yet.
Zip!
Fortunately for me, the hex ended.
Of haste.
Come!
Wasn't quite sure I could get that kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Zip zap!
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's structures are
And we won the fight
fortified.
pretty convincingly. That's what happens when you pot a multi and they don't have detection up. We're able to initiate it on two of their more important heroes.
Dire's
A is
middle
always
barracks
really good to
has
kill really
fallen.
rapidly.
Over here now!
To be quite careful with my no BKB. Magic shield again.
Oh, not the trees. Hey, don't tell me to calm down. I am calm.
It's pretty easy to dodge that, honestly. You just have to be a little careful.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
That would have been a great time to drop a spirit and then TP back to ace, but
Not
Dire's
didn't look very
courier
good for
has
our
been
team.
killed.
I knew I was caught, so I had to BKB that one. I did leave a fire spirit behind, so this means that I could go in if I wanted to. And then I bought a Desolator, because I was like, screw this. I need more damage, guys. And then I found a hero that I most certainly cannot kill.
chained in searing heat.
Put my fire shield on, so blocked almost all that damage. Or at least a lot of it. A lot more than I would have taken otherwise. And yep, they do take the Desolator debuff. If you guys don't know how Maelstrom and Desolator work together, the way they work is Maelstrom or Desolator will always hit, but if Maelstrom procs, then Maelstrom will replace the debuff. As far as I'm aware, that's how it should be working.
Roshan has fallen to the
It's
Dire.
a little late on initiating there. I used both spirits to do that as well, so
Otherwise you are flat, son.
you really got to kill the Storm Spirits. They're really important.
Double kill.
So yeah, in some ways, Desolator and the Maelstrom aren't the best thing to stack together, but it's honestly a decent combo. Looks like our Prophet actually already has the Desolator, so maybe it wasn't the best for me to grab the item.
Thus ends the
I
lesson.
think Maelstrom is easily the best mid-game item. It should be Maelstrom or Deso for sure, but Desolator's not bad by any means. It's just not as good at farming and killing
Dire's
creep
middle
waves and stuff
tower
like that.
is
It's not
under
as good at
attack.
AoE. It's just more of like assist your heroes and right-clicking down solos, things. kind of a thing.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I felt really good about the BKB though. I think it worked
Dire's
really
bottom
nicely.
barracks are
Had a
under
couple
it.
core
Dire's
moments.
bottom barracks has fallen.
Desolator didn't do that much for me because we were already pretty much snowballing to a win
Dire's
here.
bottom
But
barracks has fallen.
yeah, it was a pretty fun game. I didn't farm that much, but that's kind of what the hero does. He kind of goes around and ganks a lot more than anything else. If you look at the net worth, see where I am.
Dire's middle tower is
board
up.
here.
Dire's middle tower
There we
has
go.
fallen.
So yeah, we were really far ahead in net worth. I was matching our bristleback, our carry farm at least. I was pretty happy with that one.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
We can look at gold graphs and stuff. I'm sure we're really far ahead. Yeah, this was like right before they lost their second
Dire's
set of racks. So
Ancient is
just getting
under
more and more
attack.
advantage, and we ended up taking the game. So really close game in EXP though, that's for sure. So
Radiant
I had a moderate amount of
victory.
mistakes in the early game, a couple deaths, probably like 3-4 deaths maybe that shouldn't have happened, but largely it was them just outplaying us a little bit when we made mistakes, at least some of the times. But the hero was really fun. I seriously enjoyed playing him the last couple days, and next up is going to be Earthbro or Earth Spirit. I'll be playing him a lot. Probably tonight, maybe some Earth Spirit tonight, and then I'll hopefully make a video of him tomorrow. I've been watching a couple streams where people played him, so I think I have a pretty darn good idea on how to play him correctly already. I think there's a lot of potential for wacky stuff. He's really good at saving allies, and a lot of pro players are saying he's more of a support role, but he can definitely be played mid, in my opinion. He's maybe not as good as some other mid heroes, but he can be played there. So we'll see how I do it. Regardless, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being patient about the new hero videos. Maybe I'll do some Diretide videos tomorrow as well. I'll try to be a bit more forward about those things, but I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to tell you guys. I don't know. Dota's awesome. Ember Spirit's cool. Go play him. I think that's it. I know I need a haircut. You don't have to tell me anymore. I'm gonna do it before I go to Columbus. Oh yeah, Columbus is next week. It's Saturday today. Columbus is next week I leave on Thursday morning, I believe. This is basically like a mini TI. That's going to be really exciting. I thought about that this morning. I was like, man, it's like 5 days until I go to a Dota land. That's going to be pretty cool. So that's going to be really fun. I'm actually really excited for that. So I probably make some... I don't know if I'll do a venue tour like TI because it's... MLGs are great. I honestly enjoy them a lot, but they're not a specialist TI, not even close. So I don't know if I'll make a video or a vlog. I probably should bring my camera though, just in case, because I'm sure I'll actually get to hang out with the pro players for once, which is something I usually only get to do once a year. So I think that's about it. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. That was Ember Spirit. If you want to see what he looked like in Dota 1, I just played him on my channel like 4 days ago for my 1000th video. I got a crappy Sanjin Yasha with a Necro 3, which is pretty garbage. Not at all the right build. Sanjin Yasha is okay, but the Necro 3 was so dumb. With Arcane Boots as well. Arcane Boots was unnecessary. So anyways, that's it. All right, goodbye, guys.